Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you are finding this video. I just thought, let me quickly come on and share a little bit about something that has really blessed me, struck me. I've been meaning to talk a bit about the wonderful blessing of the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, and what is the good news. And in the process of just digging into some notes and getting things together to share, but to some people, one of the things that I came across is this, what I'm about to share with you now, and it is found in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 7, where the Apostle Paul says something so wonderful, and he says, we walk by faith and not by sight. For we walk by faith and not by sight. Now we know that our righteousness and the good news of our salvation, and which is actually not only salvation, it's the good news of God saving us from poverty, from sickness and disease, and from every other evil that affects and afflicts the human race. But nonetheless, we walk by faith and not by sight. Now, how does this relate to the gospel or the good news? The good news and how this relates to it is that if we go by sight, we judge ourselves by what we see. The Bible says man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. So as men, many times we judge ourselves by that same standard, by looking at the outward appearance, by sight, outward appearance. And when we look at ourselves, we see our sin, we see our flaws, we see our mistakes, we see the mistakes of the past, we see the mistakes we made yesterday, we see the mistakes we are currently making. We are reminded of our weaknesses, and we are reminded of our humanness and our mistakes and sins and all these things that according to the law brings judgment upon you and sends you to hell if unrepented. However, we walk by faith and not by sight. Now, faith will tell you that Jesus Christ died on the cross. He paid the price for sin, paid the price for our weaknesses. He paid the price for the consequences of those weaknesses and those sins, which is death, poverty, sickness, disease. All these things are part of the consequences of sin. For the wages of sin is death. The Apostle Paul says in Romans as well. Now, if we walk by faith and not by sight, we must get to the place where we believe the gospel to the extent of not looking at what we see in ourselves, not seeing our weaknesses, not seeing our sin and coming to God with our view on our sin, but coming to God with our view on Christ. Not coming to God with our view on our mistakes of the past and our weaknesses and what we've done before, where we've missed it. Not coming to God with a self-centered focus, but coming to God with a focus of and on the finished work of the cross. We walk by faith and not by sight includes walking by faith in the cross and what has been accomplished by Jesus on the cross, and not by sight, which is the sight of our mistakes, sight of our weaknesses, and the sight of our shortcomings and shortfalls in life. So that actually blessed me. It stood out for me in a new way this time around, and I hope you are blessed by this. I'm hoping to come on a bit more and share some of these short videos and messages. But be blessed. God bless you. Keep well.